Hey there, Rainmaker. This is Matt LaClear, the Rainmaker's Bulletin, issue number 12 already. I'm pumped about that. Today I got a cup of coffee in my hand because I want to say thank you to a subscriber, Oliver Keats. You're really cool. Thank you for sending me the UK Space Agency coffee mug. I use it all the time. In fact, it's the only mug I have in the office now. So thanks, Oliver. I appreciate it. In this issue, I'm going to talk about how I cracked the form marketing code. And what's a big deal about form marketing? Anybody can market on forums, right? And who am I to talk to you about form marketing? What type of code did I break? And what type of benefit will it benefit you if you learn what that code was? Our agency made $1.28 million in 24 months from one form and one form alone. And like we said, I did it in 24 months, and we did it with only investing $30,000 in those 2 years rather, in advertising costs. So I know a little bit about forum marketing, and when I broke the code, I want to tell you, I started making as much in a month as I used to make in a year. It was life-changing. And if you can put your effort in to breaking the forum marketing code, following the instructions that I'm going to give you throughout this video, you're going to be in a good position to be able to do the same thing. Now, I want to tell you that out of those $1.28 million that came in, it came in via 12,000 different transactions. It's actually 12,244 or something like that. But it was over 12,000 transactions. And why is that a big deal? Well, I'll get back to that in a minute. What I'm more proud of is the fact that we had no chargebacks. We had no disputes. We had a couple of people ask for refunds, and we gave them their refunds, but we had no disputes and no chargebacks. In fact, our merchant provider was very, very pleased with us over this period of time and since then, because we just don't get chargebacks. And to have that volume of money to come in via so many different transactions, there had to be chargebacks, right? No, not unless you're offering something that people really want. And that's a secret to form marketing. I'm going to show you how to do that a little later in the video. But I was very proud of that. And after that, and this is the part that I want to say saved my agency after Penguin hit, and Penguin was a big algorithm change that happened about 5 years ago. After Penguin hit, how many of those 12,000 transactions were from business owners who still needed help with SEO? A lot of them. And how many of them hired me to help them monthly services for $1,000. Sometimes we charge $2,000. Some clients we charge $3,000 a month. How many of those hired me for the monthly services? A lot of them. So that's really what saved my bacon after forum marketing, was the fact that we had relationships with, I don't want to say over 12,000 people, because a lot of people were buying again and again and again from us, but we had over 12,000 transactions. Gave us relationships with a lot of business owners and a lot of potential partners that turned out to be lucrative partners for us. So it was great times having all that money coming in. But I had to overcome some hurdles to do that. And a lot of it is how you manage it, and how you manage all the incoming sales, and how you initiate those sales, and how you get all the interest. And I'm going to show you how to do that later on throughout this video. I want to say too that the main premise behind this is I sold a boatload of front end products that people wanted. And then I reaped years and years of back end products via my monthly SEO services. So let me erase the board. Let me put this cup of coffee down, and let me show you my form marketing system. All right, let me show you how I broke the code. First of all, when I went into the forum, and this is what I recommend you do too, is read and obey all the rules. Not so you don't get in trouble. You're going to get in trouble if you push the envelope. I didn't make all that money without pushing the envelope, and it's okay to push the envelope. But you want to read and obey the rules, at least as much as you can. But you want to know the rules for one main reason, so you can snitch out all the violators you come across on the forum. most of the forms that you go after, like in my case, the Warrior form, it's just such a big form. It's hard for the mods to keep up on all the violations. So it's like a violation on a form is usually because somebody's self-promoting. If you help clean that up, it's like litter in a park, and the more litter you pick up, the cleaner the park gets. If you learn the rules just so you can snitch out people, you're going to be able to help clean the forum up and at the same time gain the attention of the mods. And having the positive attention of the mods is going to get them to accept you into their tribe. And that's really important if you're planning on doing a lot of business. You might hear my little one coughing down there. She's in our office sick today. But very good job trying to keep that quiet, sweetie. Anyway, if you give the mods some help, they're going to accept you into their tribe. And when they accept you into their tribe, they may even make you a mod. And think about that. If you were a mod in the forum you're getting ready to advertise in. So that's why I say read the rules. Of course, you want to obey. You don't want to go in and get snitched. But if you obey the rules I give you in this video, you won't ever run into trouble with the mods. All right. So also, this is for extra credit. If you after you snitch out a violator, give public advice to that violator and reply to them. Let them know, hey, next time you can't. I just want to let you know what you did violated the rules. You're not supposed to self-promote or whatever. A lot of people look bad upon that. They're probably going to delete your thread. But just wanted to let you know so next time you don't make the same mistake. Now that teaches a fellow member and it teaches other members too. But also it shows the mod that you're part of the community and care about that other person, even if you don't. You could do it just to let the mods know, hey, I'm part of the team. I'm part of one of you guys. And that'll work just for that. But if you really do give the advice when you snitch somebody out, you're making the park a better place. And the better the park gets, the cleaner the park gets, the more money and information can go back and forth. But there's so much crud in the way on the forums because of ill-informed young spammers that and people peddling garbage that it needs to be cleaned up. And mods love that because they know it needs to be cleaned up, but they're probably running their own jobs. They probably are unpaid in a lot of instances. So if you can get the mods to view you as part of one of their tribe, it's going to earn you big dividends as you get further into the forum marketing. And I did that. In the forum, in the Warrior forum, they encourage you to violate people that are breaking the rules and to inform on them because it kept the forum clean. But now it's still a good strategy. It works. Another thing you do that I did is to help others. And how do you help people on the forum? Well, you answer questions because there's all kinds of questions being answered. How many questions should you answer? I recommend instead of writing blog posts on your blog, and instead write 2,500 words a day, 5 days a week, 6 days a week, however many days a week you work, and do that many words a day on answering questions on the forums. If you do that, what will happen is those words are a lot easier. They flow a lot easier than they do when you're trying to write an article. They do. Because you're just helping people. And just keep track of your word count and you'll find maybe that's 6 people's questions you've answered. Maybe it turns out to be 10, but it really flies. And then when you get your word counts are up and those replies, you're going to find that your signature file is getting a lot more attention. And that's what we'll get into in a little bit. But another thing I'll say, especially in the Warrior forum, do not be afraid to disagree with the other members. And if you're in internet marketing and you're looking for those types in your SEO agency and you're looking for those types of clients, let me tell you, they're in the Warrior forum. And you can't just agree with everybody. Otherwise, no one will take notice of you. The best thing you can do is disagree with somebody. And maybe you can go through the forum and look for instances where you can disagree with the poster in a polite way. And I used to not, when I created the 1.28 million, I was not polite. I was very harsh and judgmental, and I'm not going to do that anymore. But at the time, I was. But you can still come in and disagree with the post and not be an a-hole about it, and be polite about it, and do it with, hey, I want to. I accept what you're saying, and I like the merits of it, but here's where I disagree. Then give 700 word reply out of your 2,500 words for the day, and you got yourself a good little debate going. Because what happens when you disagree with somebody, especially if it's somebody with a big following on the forum, is that it forces everyone, the readers, everybody coming in and finding this little discussion, they are going to weigh the evidence. And that means only one thing for you: traffic. And that's why a lot of people fail in forum marketing, because they try to agree with everything being said. All right. Well, to be able to pull all this off, you're going to have to put together a front-end product like I did. It has to be a front-end product that you can effortlessly deliver without a lot of labor on your part or your staff's part, or happen to hire outsourcers to deliver that work. So that's the whole premise of breaking the marketing forum code, at least the way I broke it. And why do you want to do that? Well, first of all, I would challenge you to make it a goal in 2018, maybe even this next quarter, to replace your current income that you make personally with profits that you make from the forum selling a new front-end product that you put together yourself. Putting these products together are not hard. They're a lot easier than you think. In my case, it was a cheap little backlinking service that I offered that generated over 12,000 different transactions, and it was very easy for me to deliver those. And I want to encourage you to come up with your own product, because there's a lot of different things you can do with webinars, and if you're thinking, well, I don't know enough to be able to put these webinars together, just hush that thought if that's what you're thinking. Because what you're going to do is, with that front end product, you're going to target novices, newbies, people who are brand new to the industry, not people so they don't understand anything and that you're going to be able to lead them astray and sell them something of no worth. No, you're going to target novices and newbies because they're hungry and because they're bored with their life. They're looking for an adventure, and if they can buy your webinar to learn something new they can do in their life, and if that can generate money for them working from home, you could give them a whole new life. And they know that, and they're bored, and they're looking for adventure. And I want to tell you that if you can do that, you're going to be in a really good position to sell a lot of these front-end products. And how do you come up with a front-end product? Well, that's probably a discussion for another time. But a $17 webinar is basically about a half-an-hour webinar, maybe a 45-minute webinar that you could record all by yourself with GoToMeeting and get all your training facts and slides in place, record it by yourself, and then call it good, then put a $17 price tag on it so people can opt in, watch it, and then get the product. So that's what I recommend you do for a front-end product. I got one more thing I want to show you, then I'll let you get on with your day. I want to talk about your reviews. You're going to get a lot of reviews. You have to get a lot of reviews for this system to work for you. It was the secret ingredient in how I was able to generate $1.28 million in 2 years from the Warrior Forum. And I did it by displaying my testimonials and my reviews everywhere. But before I can talk about how to display those testimonials, you have to learn how to get them. And that's one of your biggest roles in all this. Once you get this system set up, your only job is really going to be looking over your ticket system where everybody's getting taken care of and getting their front end product and Everybody's happy. If anybody has a question, you see where their questions are, and you're able to go in and answer those questions. But your number one job, once you get the sale, is to make sure they get their product, but also that you get a review from them. That review is social gold. And it was the main ingredient and what enabled me to create so much money on the Warrior Forum. Because what are people looking for when they're looking to buy something on the Warrior Forum or any other forum marketplace? They're looking for social proof. And I had testimonials. I think I had 400 or 500 strong testimonials that I displayed everywhere. And I was able to get all those reviews, and I'll show you that before we end the video. But it's not that hard to get reviews and testimonials. And once you get them, you display them everywhere. For instance, I would display them on the top of every one of my sales threads. If I was selling anything at all, I would say, first, before we get into what my offer is for you today, check out what all these other Warriors forum members are saying about my other services. And by the time they got to my sales copy, it was like, well, I don't care what you're selling, man, I'm buying, because they see all the reviews. And that's the shock and awe review stack. And that's what you have to build if you're going to make really good money on the Warrior Forum, at least the kind of money that I pulled in. And what's more is you can then put a post on the forum that puts all your reviews right there on the post, and when you get a new one, you go back and update it and puts the reviews back on that one blog post, and on that blog post have links to all your squeeze pages and your sales pages. That way, when somebody finds you in the on the forum somewhere, and they see your signature file, which we're about to talk about in a minute, and then on your signature file you have a link over to a blog page that has a bunch of reviews on it. Well, they're going to follow you. They're going to be shock and awe. They're going to be amazed because they're looking for somebody to learn from. And there's so many posers on these forums that all you have to do is shock and awe just a group of them, and then you'll have a true following, and then that true following of 100 people turns into 1,000 people and 10,000 people, and then everybody on the forum will know who you are. And that's the whole idea with the testimonials and collecting reviews. And when we put links on SIG files. Now, what I want to talk about SIG files is that when you join a forum, if you haven't been interacting and you haven't been doing the 2,500 words a day, and you haven't been doing everything else I recommend you did, I say you wait 3 weeks before you put any type of SIG file together. That's how mods, when you get too aggressive with a SIG file, or even put anything in your SIG file, when you join a new forum, sometimes mods will delete you for that. So you don't want to be in a situation where you get your account deleted because you put a SIG file together. You want to win the mods over. In that first 3 weeks, you're going to be helpful. You're going to be writing good responses to people. You're going to be snitching on people. It's just going to be fun. But you can't do anything with your SIG file. Now, after you've done that, and that's all set up, then what you do in your SIG file is you link to your squeeze page, and you link over to this blog post here with all the reviews. You're going to have all the traffic you need if you picked your front end product right and you did your webinar right. You're going to have all the leads you want flowing into your business. But now you're no longer paying for leads. You have prospects coming to you who just paid you $17 and who are willing to listen to you talk on your topic for an hour or 45 minutes, however long you want to make the webinar. So this is a huge system for you if you implement it. It was for me. And like I said, those 12,000 transactions that we had brought in so many monthly clients that aren't even listed out of that 1.2 million. And that's something that you keep in mind, that when you sell enough front-end products, there's going to be a lot of back-end clients in that first net of front-end sales you make. So most of them maybe not, but maybe 10%. There's some people that bought a front-end product from me from the Warrior Form in 2010, and today they're still paying me $2,000 a month to market their website. And that's just from one person from those 12,000 transactions. So that's why it's important if you can build up a pile of front-end sales of an affordable product that you can deliver digitally after doing a recording of a 17-minute webinar you do by yourself. Then people buy the recording, not the not the live session that you have to do every time somebody buys a new one. It's you record it once, and then they buy the recording, so it's no more effort on your part to deliver it. But I have been looking at the quality lately in the Warrior Forum, and they need our help. There's a lot of need for quality webinars because there's a lot of people. I paid $50 for a webinar, and they're bragging about being the oldest thread on the Warrior Forum. So they've been around forever, and it's teaching how to sell PLR products and sell it on a forum when the forum itself has rules against selling PLR. So obviously they need some help in the forum. So I think that there's a big opportunity on the Warrior Forum if you're looking to get clients and want to make some front-end money. Maybe replace your current income with front-end sales on the Warrior Forum. That's the thing that we're going to have to consider. And you're going to have to consider, rather. I'm already making the consideration. I'm going back into the Warrior Forum. Believe it or not, after making that money in those 24 months, I started focusing all my attention on my client work that came in from those first 12,000 customers. And then the algorithm changed so many times that I had to, in order to keep getting paid for my clients, I had to keep working on the algorithm. I couldn't go and get another batch of front-end products. I probably should have, but I didn't. In my mind, I wanted to solve the algorithm. So I have solved the algorithm as best as I'm ever going to be able to solve it. That's why I'm able to do these things and teach you for so cheap on these Rainmakers bulletins too. Systems that I use to make $1 million. All right, so and that is, and if you look at my earnings disclaimer on mattlaclear.com, you will see that I am very willing to share proof of those earnings too, if anyone doubts the truthfulness of yours truly. I do have evidence. All right, so or you can just go back to the Warrior Forum. Just look up my name. And so, all right, so what are you going to do? You're going to have to set up a SIG file. After you establish yourself, you're going to have to link to your squeeze page and to this blog page here. And I'm not even going to erase the board to tell you what you do next. In order to handle all the front-end sales coming in, you need to set up a ticket system. And in that ticket system, you're going to have a welcome message. Whenever somebody comes on board, they're instructed to set up a ticket. When those tickets come in, you can have a VA just give them all a welcome message, and that welcome message was just, hey, thank you for signing up so much. Here's the link to the webinar. I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions, please let us know. And then when you're done watching it, could you tell us what your top 3 ideas are about the video and how it pertains to your business and what you hope to get from it, or how you were disappointed in the video, because that's really important to us. And that way you get feedback, and then when anyone replies to one of those tickets, you see those replies, you get an email, you go, and then you're able to answer those replies. Then what you're doing is you're making your product better. They're going to give you suggestions. In places where you're weak, they're going to tell you where you're weak, and then you're going to look for solutions, and the next time, and you can go make the webinar again and improve it, and then fix those weaknesses. It's not hard making these webinars, right? It's only an hour on sitting down on your computer and doing screen capture. Those are easy, and talking into a microphone. So if you keep getting feedback, you're going to get, guess what? You're going to get tips, and you're going to get better and better and better. And that way your product will just keep, it'll just keep getting better and better and better and better and better and better and better. Well, I want to, green's my favorite color. I don't want to use on my green ink. So that's how I broke the code on the Warrior Forum. That's how you can break the code at any forum that's major in your industry. You can go across any industry that has major forums like this that have marketplaces of their own, and you can duplicate what I did on the Warrior Forum in those forums. Or you could take this same system and go to the Warrior Forum and make just as much waves and success as I did. I'm not saying you can make as much as I make, because I'm pretty good. We'll see if you can keep up with me, because I'm going to be at the forum now, recreating what I did once before. And that's one of the things I'm doing for my new service at mattlaclear.com is I'm going to go through and let people look over my shoulder as I'm going through the Warrior Forum again and reclaiming my my place at the top of the as king of the hill as SEO provider at the Warrior Forum. And they're going to be able to watch step by step as I do it. This can be implemented by anybody, though, and that's why I'm sharing my tips with you now, because it's not hard and it's not a zero-sum game. We're not all going to have the same skill sets in our webinars. We're going to teach them how to do lots of different things. I teach them how to I might teach them how to build local links. You may teach them how to close more sales. Somebody else may teach them how to do on-page. There's enough business for everybody. The forum is huge. If we go in and follow the instructions that I gave you in this video, there's going to be plenty enough front-end sales for you to maybe, hopefully, replace your current income. And then your job will be what? Maintaining your ticket system, and maintaining your threads, making sure competitors aren't coming in and throwing stink on your thread. And when they do, you either use them as a sacrificial lamb and get a chuckle out of people, and then you get a little like seagulls, and then you get a lot of people and a lot of bounces. You can start a fight with them, and that makes it go back and forth and gets a lot of eyeballs too. Just make sure you win the fights if you're going to be in a fight. But know the mods first. That's why I said at the beginning, you have to become friends with the mod. You have to be considered a mod yourself, even if they don't make you a moderator. You have to turn in more people on these forums than they turn in. That way you tell them what they have. If they ever ask you, why are you so keen on turning people in? I said, listen, when I hike, I don't like to see garbage in the woods. This is my marketplace. There's too many good people on this forum to have to look at litter. And there's so much great information on this forum. I'm just helping pick up the litter. Then I'm informing the person who littered not to litter and why what they did was considered litter. Now you're like the Smokey the Bear of the forum. And now when you get into a situation where you get into an argument with a competitor, and that competitor is nothing but complain to the mods the whole time they advertise, and you have made friends with them from day one, who's going to win those arguments? Who's going to get the leeway? You. So if they ever cross the line, once the fight and they start playing dirty and stuff, then they come in and that whoever got in the fight with you usually gets their account banned. How's that? You use the fight to make a lot of sales and get a lot of eyeballs to your thread where all your reviews are listed. Remember, you get that shock and awe with all your testimonials stacked there. Then you get in a little fight with a competitor on your own thread. And that means every time they reply, you reply, somebody else replies, the thread just keeps bouncing up on the biggest forum in the internet. As far as biggest forum for internet marketers, or and the same thing can happen in any other forum. So you have to be careful with that tactic. And then what you do is always fight fair. But that bouncing thread is like fishing. You're like jigging for fish and trying to get people's attention. And then you get more and more comments on your thread, so the thread gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then people run into that stack of reviews that you're putting there and adding daily. What's going to happen? Well, you're going to make a lot of money. And that's how I broke the code at the Warrior Forum. And that's precisely how I'm going to break the code again. I'm Matt LaClear. This is a Rainmaker's Bulletin. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you. Oh, wait a minute. I have a special guest. Come here. Jeez, this is little Abby. She's not little. She's 5 now. Say goodbye, Abby. Bye. She's a little shy.